Pretty much every melody you'll hear, whether vocal or instrumental, is constructed using a combination of what we might call horizontal and vertical movement. Horizontal melody refers to the linear, often consecutive movement along a scale's tones. For example, whereas vertical melody uses wider intervals, a sequence of skipped notes up or down the scale to build up the picture of a harmony. On guitar, this often means literally playing vertically, string to string. Arpeggios can provide our solos with this vertical structure to help break up our horizontal scale movements. If you often find yourself wandering up and down a scale in straight sequence, then this is the lesson for you. Arpeggios exist in every scale. Starting with the major scale, we can see how an arpeggio exists within its pattern for all of its 7 chords. The first technique we're going to look at is using an arpeggio as a lead-in or introduction to a scale phrase or lick. For example, I may pull out the following arpeggio sequence from this A major scale pattern. This could be our lead-in phrase, which can then continue using some horizontal scale movement. Change to the 4 chord, D major, using the same lead-in technique. Hopefully you can hear how the arpeggio enhances the musicality of the phrase that follows it. It helps to prepare it and put it into context. We can also use arpeggios to lead out of a phrase. Here's an example of this using natural minor as our scale. Again, the arpeggio helps to connect the scale phrase to the backing harmony, since arpeggios consist solely of chord tones. Of course, the arpeggios don't always have to link to a scale phrase. They can be isolated as phrases in their own right. We can also inject them into the middle of our scale phrases. For example, take this simple minor pentatonic lick, which includes a minor arpeggio. So it can be very subtle, but even when this seamless, the mixture of horizontal and vertical movement helps to shape the overall phrase. When practicing your arpeggios, find different positions for playing them within the scale pattern. Also try breaking up your arpeggios to come up with some melodic phrases. For example, take the major arpeggio sequence 5-1-3. We could flesh it out by playing a 2 in there, giving us 5-1-2-3. Or add in a 4 with an additional 5. Here, I'm adding the major second to a minor arpeggio. Use the arpeggio as your bass structure and see what you can build around it using notes from the scale. You'll find it much easier to improvise and build up your repertoire of licks this way. Visit the lesson page to see these arpeggios mapped on to some common scale patterns. Cheers.